What is going on, peeps? Ted Carr here, and in this video I'm going to show you how I'm running Facebook ads to this webinar opt-in page right now and how it's allowing me to generate over $50,000 a month in income after ad expenses. So my ad expenses, they range, but typically it's like $10,000 to $20,000 a month in ad costs driving traffic to this page. I'm spending a lot of money in ads, and I want to show you how I'm doing that, because I think that by watching this video, you'll be able to learn a thing or two about driving ad traffic to your webinar as well. Because in the past, when I never ran ads, I only relied on my organic audience. I found that organic audience would dry up pretty quickly, and I'd have to work really, really hard to get more organic followers every month. As opposed to when I run ads, it's like I just spend a few bucks and I instantly get views on it. So I could either spend money to get views, or I could work really hard to get views. I'd rather spend some money getting views because I'm getting more money at the back end to afford the ads anyway. So the ads end up being free and the leads end up being free essentially, because I wouldn't have made the money if it wasn't for the ads in the first place. So it's just like, what I'm about to show you is how to get an unlimited amount of new customers essentially on autopilot. Essentially. You still have to do some tweaking and maneuvering here or there, unless you delegate this out to an ad agency. But for the most part, it's pretty effortless once you get it set up and running. So I'm going to show you how I've gotten that set up and running, and how I would approach it if I was going to start over from scratch, or how I would approach it if I was going to coach somebody on how to set up their ads for their own webinar as well. And I got to say, this webinar does go to a phone call. So I'm optimizing my ads so that it gets people who are most likely to watch a webinar and book a phone call. Your webinar might not be like that. Your webinar might go directly to a checkout page. Either way, what I'm about to share with you is going to be very, very helpful. Okay. But this is specifically for people who have webinars that drive people to a course sale or a phone call, which then leads to a course sale. And ideally high ticket. This isn't something that what I'm about to share with you probably doesn't work. In fact, it doesn't really work that well for low ticket items, like anywhere from like under $100 or even like under $500. This works really well if you have a course that's over $1,000, in that $1,000 range, but ideally like $2,000, $3,000, $4,000, $5,000, $10,000. Okay, so higher ticket programs, this works really well for. Okay, so first things first, on my landing page, there's only one thing to do, and that's to click yes, reserve seat. They can also watch these testimonials, but testimonials are going to get people to want to click this button anyway. So there's only one thing to do. At the bottom, I have a disclaimer saying this is not a part of Facebook at all. You should have that there in case Facebook comes and scans your site. They can shut you down if you don't have this on there. You want to make sure you also have a privacy policy in terms of use on there. Have a earnings disclaimer if you're talking about your earnings, and have a phone number. It doesn't even need to be your phone number. Just put a phone number there. Okay. This is going to really help you stay compliant with Facebook ads. But you can buy a 1-800 number for pretty cheap. So put a phone number down there as well. That's the start. Then when we get into Facebook ads itself, I'm going to share with you I have multiple ad accounts. This is just one of them, but that's the first thing I want to mention. You want to have multiple ad accounts. I have 6. I have 6 different ad accounts. And that's because eventually there's a really good chance one of your ad accounts is either going to get disabled, suspended, blocked, something's not going to work anymore. Like, you just got to have multiple backup accounts, because if one goes down, you don't want to start from scratch from day one, getting a new ad account up and running. It's a pain in the butt. So you want to make sure when you do set up an ad account, you set up a whole bunch. And I'm not going to talk about how to set up an ad account in this video. You can go watch another video about that, but I'm going to talk about how to actually approach the ad spending itself. So there's a few there's a few really good guidelines, I should say, when approaching Facebook ads. And 2 of them are, number 1, test a lot. You don't know what's going to work best. Nobody in the world knows what's going to work best, because tomorrow a trend could change, and it could change everything that anyone's ever said about Facebook ads. So you just always have to be testing yourself. You have to be the one that's on the leading edge of what's working best. Don't go off what else is saying. Just go off based on your experience. And the way you're going to find out what works well for you is by testing. So that's rule number 1, or guideline number 1. Always be testing. Guideline number 2 is know your numbers. Know your numbers, and when you're hitting your right numbers, go all in. Like, know your numbers. When I say know your numbers, I mean know what it should cost to get an opt-in. If ads are within KPI is key performance index or key performance indicator. If one of your key performance indicator is within range, spend more money. So one of the KPIs for webinar opt-ins is under $10 per opt-in. As you can see here, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 or 9 ad sets that are all getting under $10 per opt-in. So I'm going to be spending a lot more money in the coming days to get even more emails because this is all within KPI. So that's one of the numbers to know. What should it cost to get an opt-in in your industry, in your niche? Well, for most webinars, it's under $10. If you can get them under $5, great. But even if you're spending under $10 and you have an offer that's over $1,000, should be profitable. Especially if you have an offer that's like $3,000, $4,000, $5,000. Even if you have an offer that's $2,000, you should be very profitable with opt-ins under $10. Okay. And this is, by the way, I should say, this is the cost per opt-in on an ad campaign that's targeting purely cold audience, meaning purely cold people who do not know who you are. This is how much it should cost to get an email. When you start getting into retargeting, I don't have any retargeting ads up right now on this particular ad campaign. I have them on another ad campaign or another ad account. But if you are running retargeting ads, you should be able to get opt-ins for like half the price. You should be able to get opt-ins for half of whatever it's normally costing you. So yeah, let's proceed. So that's it. You know your numbers. Opt-in number should be under $10. Cost per booked call should be under $300. So in other words, if you're spending more than $10 per opt-in, think about turning that ad off. If you're spending more than $12 per opt-in, turn that ad off, especially if it's not getting you cost per booked calls that are within KPI. So if you're getting opt-ins for $12 each, you're like, oh, that's too expensive. But those opt-ins keep getting you calls for like $150 or under $300. Keep running them. Who cares? Cost per opt-in isn't as important as cost per booked call. Cost per booked call is like the holy grail. It's like the most important thing in terms of a KPI for a webinar that goes to a booked call. If you're not doing a book call and you're just doing a course sale, let's say your course costs you $1,000 and this says that you're getting sales for like $800 or sales for $700, well, you're still making $200, $300 profit on every sale. So that's not bad. So you just have to know your numbers. And if you're getting the numbers, keep spending money. Keep spending money. And this brings me to my third point. When you start increasing, let's say an ad is doing very well. Let's say you're spending $5 a day on it and it's doing really well. And I say, okay, spend more money. That doesn't mean double it. That means go up 20% every 48 hours. So every other day, increase the ad spend by 20%. And this isn't a rule I made up. This is just industry insider knowledge that they know. When you increase ad spend by 20%, that's like the sweet spot for allowing your Facebook ads to scale without breaking. So if you're spending $5 a day and ad's very profitable, you're like, oh, I should spend $50 since it's profitable at $5. That rarely ever works. You could get lucky and it could work, but it rarely ever works. Typically, if it's profitable at $5 and you just 10x the ad spend and go $50, the ad's going to break and it's going to stop becoming profitable. Rather than getting opt-ins for under $10, it could go up to like opt-ins for $20 or something. It could be something outrageous. So keep that in mind. When you are increasing ad spend, increase by no more than 20%. Okay? So that's that. I got a little piece of food stuck in my teeth there. All right, next, let's get into how I start creating a campaign for ads, how I go through that whole process. Because there's really there's 3 layers to Facebook ads. There's campaigns, there's ad sets, and then there's ads. The ads are what you're probably most familiar with. It's what you see when you're scrolling. The ad sets are what like house the ads. It's like a set of ads. It's like a collection of ads. And then a campaign is typically a collection of ad sets. It's a collection of what type of ad sets. So there's no right or wrong way of going through and creating all this stuff. You could do it all without a rhyme or reason and just do random this, random that. But I like to try and keep it as organized and cohesive and as understandable as possible. So the way I do it is when I'm creating an ad campaign, what you see here, I make this ad campaign all about what kind of copy I'm using and what kind of pictures I'm using. So the copy I'm using for this one, for example, it says conversions 2.0. So conversions is the goal that my goal is to convert. When I go click create campaign, it's going to ask me, what are you going to do? What's your goal? I always click conversions. Conversions is my goal. I never do traffic, engagement, anything else, just purely conversions, because I'm trying to get people to go and watch a webinar and then convert to a phone call. So these are all conversions. If I was doing something else, like maybe I was uploading a video and I wanted to just get video views so I could retarget them later, I'd do video views and I would say so on here. But I'm just doing conversions right now. I'm not doing video views. Which one's better, video views or conversions? They can both work really well. Conversions on pictures is just so much easier to get started with because you just got to upload a picture and you're done. Video views is a whole nother conversation, whole nother video. So let's just say we're all just going to post pictures with some text. That's our ad. So for that, you want to optimize for conversions. So I say conversions right here. What's this 2.0 thing? Well, 2.0 is like the type of pictures I'm using. So for example, look at this, conversions 2.0 and conversions 3.0, they both have I paid for this ad space. I paid for this ad space. This is the first line of the copy that I'm using. So if I click I pay for this ad space, you're going to see right here that this ad says in the copy, I paid for this ad space. See this primary text right here? So now this lets me know, by saying I paid for this ad space, it lets me know that this is my identifier. So I know what ads these are in terms of the copy. So every ad in this whole campaign is using the same copy. I pay for this ad space, I pay for this ad space, I paid for this ad space. They're all using the same copy. But if I go to conversions 3.0, these are using the same copy as well. It says I paid for this ad space, but I'm using different pictures. So the pictures I use for conversions 2.0, it's this pictures of like this yellow and pink thing that just says this is an ad for vegans. Testing that. Conversions 3.0 is completely different. It's different pictures. Let's see what they are. These are pictures of, these are pictures of, I was just testing something else. Pictures of a lady shooting laser beams at a bird or a chicken. Test it out, see what would happen. It's not doing too bad. Not doing too bad. It's getting opt-ins for $4. In fact, it's getting better price point than the freaking I pay for this. Conversions 2.0. Either way, same copy, just different pictures. So that's how I differentiate. So I differentiate on copy and I differentiate on pictures. That's all I'm doing. As you can see, they're all conversions. They're just different copy. I pay for this ad space. We're looking for vegans. Love the idea. It's just three different types of copy. Love the idea. We're looking for vegans. I pay for this ad space. And then I'm just testing out different pictures and whatnot. So here I said burgers at the end because conversion 7.0, I'm now realizing that 7.0 doesn't tell me much about it. I want to know what the pictures are actually. So I just put burgers at the end. I think I'll go through and update these as well. So I pay for this ad space. I'll just say yellow and pink. I know what and I can then probably get rid of the 2.0 thing or whatever and just purely go off. I can say this is like chicken laser. There we go. So now I know what those pictures are right off the bat. But that's just how I am able to organize and see what the heck I'm doing. Now, when I go into create an ad, again, I always optimize for conversions. And then on the next page, this is where I start to get into creating my, I got to give it a campaign name. So this is where I decide in advance what this is going to be. I'm going to, let's say I'll use the copy, love the idea. And well, I'll say conversions first. Conversions, love the idea. And then we'll say it's going to be a picture of, I'll just say a picture of a dog. Picture of a dog. So now every single ad in this campaign is going to use the copy, love the idea, which I'll go copy paste. So we have that. Love the idea. This is my love the idea copy. So go here. Every single ad in this is going to use that same copy. And so it's also going to be optimizing for conversions. And then this is all you have to do. You don't have to change anything. Leave it at auction. leave this turned off, ignore this A/B thing, ignore campaign budget optimization, ignore all that. Just purely come in here and add the campaign descriptor so you know what the heck is going on. Then inside the ad set, this is where things get important. This first part is honestly not that important as long as you click conversions. This next part is where things make or break. Budget, I always start the ad budget off at $3. I always start off at $3. Okay, and by the way, if you don't have a pixel setup, you have to go and do that. I'm not going to talk about that in this training, it's out of the scope, but we have lots of training on that, on how to set your pixel, so you can find that elsewhere. But $3 is my ad spend. As for the ad set name, I name this based on my detailed targeting. Sorry, based on my based on my detailed targeting. So I always leave the same gender. I usually use the same. I always use all unless otherwise specified. So for example, I'm just gonna leave it all for now. And my ages, my particular niche, I'm targeting people aged 23 to 46. It's hard for me to work with people over 46, and it's hard for me to work with people under 23 typically. So I just go for ages 23 to 46. As for my locations, I usually target United States, United Kingdom, and Australia, and New Zealand, and Canada. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, big 5. Canada, United Kingdom, United States, Australia, New Zealand. This is the big 5. So that doesn't change. I'm always targeting the same 5 countries. I'm always targeting the same ages. I'm always targeting the same gender. Detailed targeting expansion off. I usually have that turned off. Automatic placements, I usually have that turned on as well when I'm getting started, when I'm just testing. When you're just testing, you want to have this on. Later, you can go manual placements. And when you do manual placements later, I'll tell you this now, in case we don't tell you later. When you do click manual placements, just optimize, just target the feeds. Turn everything else off. This is when you've already proven it works with automatic, by the way. Don't do manual first. Prove that it works with automatic placements, then come in here and start doing manual. Turn off stories, turn off Instagram, turn off everything except feeds. Inside of feeds, turn everything off again, except for Facebook newsfeed and Instagram newsfeed. And if you want, you don't have to, I've never done this. If you want, you can do a whole thing just on Facebook newsfeed or a whole thing just on Instagram newsfeed. But I've found great success just doing both at the same time, just purely the feed, okay? And this is super important right here. Main benefit of doing manual is that you can then go show more options and you can go only when connected to Wi-Fi and you can turn this on. That means people are only going to see this ad if they're connected to Wi-Fi, meaning they're only going to see this ad if they're somewhere where they can sit down and watch an hour-long webinar and decide they want to book a call. Nobody's going to watch a webinar and book a call if they're on the bus or if they're driving, or if they're out for a walk. So why would you show them the ad at that point, But again, I like to prove my ads can be profitable using automatic placements and having this turned off. And then once they are profitable, then I'll come in here, I'll redo all my campaigns, and I'll just change this one setting. I'll set it to feed only and connected to Wi-Fi only. And then that's when things start getting really good. But that's what you do only after you've proven the automatic placements work, okay? Now, as for this, detailed targeting, this is really important. You want to find people who, again, this is who your ads are going to be shown to. So your ads are only shown to be people who match this detailed targeting. So people who are in these countries, who are this age, who are this gender, and who are interested in the following. So this is where you have to be completely creative. I don't know what you're selling, but what works well for me, I'm targeting just vegans, typically vegan entrepreneurs. So I just say veganism, I select that. Boom, that could be enough. I could hit go and be good to go. It could send that off and it'd be good. That would be profitable. Another profitable one for me is if I add another one. So I click narrow audience. It's important to click narrow audience. Don't just add it in there because then it'll do either or. Narrow audience, so that's be vegan and interested in entrepreneurship. Boom. So If you want to see what size you're reaching with these, you can always look up here where it says audience definition. This isn't always super accurate, by the way. Like right here, it says ad set may get 0 leads. You can ignore that 9 times out of 10. I've ignored it and I've been very profitable. But even this, it's like this potential reach thing. Apparently, the sweet spot is between like 2 and 3 million people. So 30 million is apparently too big. I've been profitable with it, very profitable with it. Big reaches, like just veganism alone is 57 million. And I've still been profitable, so it's fine. But they say the best is like 2 to 3 million. So to do that, you do something like they have to be raw, they have to be into veganism and raw veganism. That's even a thing. Some things won't even show up on here. So boom, 700,000 people. That's not a lot of people. So let's get rid of it's too small. 720,000. That's still too small. So raw veganism is a very small audience. So what I would do in that case, when things are really when an audience, let's say I just want to target raw vegans, but it's too small of a group, it's less than 1 million. That's when I turn on detailed targeting expansion. Now it brings up to 170 million. So it'll target like raw veganism plus people who are like kind of like acting like those raw vegans, okay, or showing behavior that are similar. But either way, you in this detailed targeting, you want to pick it up to 2. I wouldn't pick more than 2. Just pick 2 groups. So example, I chose vegans plus entrepreneurs. So I'll just do that just for the sake of this video. And narrow audience, and let's go entrepreneurs. Cool. And that's it. We'll go manual placements just so you know what that looks like. Only when connected to Wi-Fi. And let's go next. Once Instagram account, click that. Okay. And then wants me to add the media. So I said dog, so we should get a picture of a dog here. Unsplash.com if you want free pictures for your ads. We should say it's this picture of a dog here. I'll grab that. Go add media, add media. Here you can just go drag and drop it in. Boom, there's my dog. Looks good. There's my ad, okay? Now, the primary text, I just paste it in because I've already copied it from the other ads that we said we're gonna use. Love the idea. And then there we go. As for the headline, you gotta test to see which ones work well for you. One that works well for me is create vegan courses that sell, ... I like putting a ... at the end because it makes them think that the sentence isn't finished. So it makes them want to learn more. Description, you can leave blank. Nobody ever reads this. You can even say like, nobody will even read this. And they won't read it. Like, nobody reads the description. But I just leave it blank. And then you need to add the URL for your website. So go up to here, grab that link. Make sure it's exactly as it is on your site. You don't want to use a bit.ly link or anything. It has to be exactly how you use it on your site. Paste it in there. Display link, just leave that. Do not change the display link. I've done that and I've had my ad account shut down because my display link wasn't similar to my URL enough. So just ignore that. Just let this sit by itself. Ignore the display link. Also language, that's important. When we go up to ad set, it's important to set the language. If you speak English and your ad's all about English, change it all languages to English. Just click English all. Boom. That way people who speak French aren't going to see it. People who speak German aren't going to see it. It's just purely for English people. This is especially helpful if you're running ads to the Europe. Let's say you want to run some ads to Germany because you know Germany has like a big dog culture or something. But your program's all about English speaking training. Send it to Germany, but English only. That'll be really helpful. Okay, and then that's pretty much good to go there with ad set. And typically I wouldn't test just one picture of a dog. I test a few. So let's grab, this dog is pretty good looking too. Grab that one and we'll grab one more. I'll grab, it's a cute little dog, grab that one. So now we're gonna go through and we're just gonna duplicate, we'll call this pink background dog. We'll duplicate that ad. Quickly duplicate it. We'll call this one Add the new picture, see what we got. Add this picture too. Oh, I see these yellow exclamation marks. It's because they're not going to fit properly, so we're going to have to crop it. That looks good. Square. That looks good. That's fine. It just gave us the exclamation marks. So it was like, hey, the full picture's not going to fit, but that's okay. It looks good anyway. This one, I'll call it flower dog. I know what picture that is, and quickly duplicate. And then this one, we're going to add another picture. I always add 3 pictures to test to see which picture is going to do best, because you never know. I not always do 3, but at least 2. I'll do between like 2 and 4. So there we go. Now I have my 3 different dogs, and this is, say, dog looking up. Cool. So we got a flower dog, we got a dog looking up, we got a pink background dog, we got our ads ready to go. All I have to do is hit publish now. I'm not going to hit publish, but when I do hit publish, if I were to hit publish, if I wasn't so silly earlier and I didn't do dogs, or I did something I would actually publish, I could have actually made a campaign right in front of you. But this is all I would do. I would then click publish. Then I would wait anywhere from 5 minutes to freaking 5 hours it takes typically for an ad to get approved or denied. It depends on the day of the week as well. It depends on the season. If you're trying to run an ad during like Black Friday sales, do not expect your ad to get approved anytime soon. It could take days. So if you are going to run ads during Black Friday, just make sure you get those ads set up like a week in advance. And don't expect to make any edits or changes to your ads as well, because once you do during that period, again, once you make an edit or change to your ad, it has to get reviewed all over again. And not all of your ads are going to get approved. Some ads are going to get denied. The more ads get denied, the worse it looks on your account. The worse it looks on your account, the more likely you are to get shut down. So be very careful, be very cautious about what sort of ads you're running and what you're putting in the ads as far as your picture and your copy goes. Those are 2 of the biggest reasons ad account gets shut down. Your landing page could also have some stuff on there that isn't allowed. Like I had to change my headline a few times because before my headline was apparently too sensational, too unrealistic. So with Facebook, there's a lot of things you can't say and do. Like you can't say like, I'll teach you how to make 10 grand a month. You can't say I'll help you lose 50 pounds in 5 days. You can't have before and after pictures. That's not allowed. You definitely can't have those on your ads. You can't even be saying that in your copy. So you make sure you read the Facebook ad compliance issues. They update it like every month. Facebook ad compliance, Google that, Facebook advertising policies, and you want to read this at least once a month because they're always updating it. Okay. So this will allow you to see what's restricted, what's prohibited, and steps to take if disapproved. Like these are always changing. Okay, it talks about the ad review process. It talks about the ad itself and the landing page, like I said. But you want to look into this. If your ad, like big reason mine gets shut down or not shut down but denied, is like I get shut down a lot for multi-level marketing, even though I don't do multi-level marketing. But ads promoting income opportunities, those are like red flags usually, unless you fully describe the associated product or business model. So you can't just say, like, learn how to make 5 grand at home. If you're teaching people how to make 5 grand at home, but you're doing it through like ebooks, clearly just talk about ebooks the whole time. You say, I'm going to teach you how to make ebooks. I'm doing courses, so I mentioned courses. And coaching. Talk about the method. Do not keep that mysterious at all. You need to be very clear and upfront about what you're doing. And if you want to learn more, just click learn more and it'll tell you like you can't have any get rich quick schemes. It'll give you a whole bunch of these. It gives you good examples too. Like you can't have a picture of some guy flexing his abs. You can't have it zoomed in for some reason. It's just that Facebook ad rule. But you can have a picture of a guy on the right here showing his full body. You can have a picture of people running up a hill, but you can't have a picture of someone with loose jeans. You can't have someone stepping on a scale with the word help. You can't have a cartoon before and after. You can't have hair pictures before and after pictures, because they're so dang effective. You can't use them in your ads. Use them in your webinars though, definitely. Like all the pictures that you're not allowed to use in the ads are probably really great pictures for your webinar itself. Okay, but don't put them on your landing page either. Put them inside your webinar. Okay. Anyways, that's how I approach ads. Once I get this up when I hit publish, don't publish them all at once either. Forgot to tell you that earlier. Only publish one ad at a time until it's been approved. Once it's been approved, best to wait a few hours and then go and publish the next one. Because sometimes you have an ad approved and like an hour later it gets denied. They get rejected. But make sure you get one approved at a time. Once all three of them get approved, cool, now you're good to go. Now you can duplicate this entire ad set. So you quickly duplicate the ad set, and then you just go in there, and then rather than targeting veganism and entrepreneurship, I'd go into this new, oh, by the way, this ad set, I should title it. I would title it Veganism plus Entrepreneurship. And this new one, I'm just going to purely just target veganism. What's that? So I'm going to go in here, I'm going to remove entrepreneurship, just targeting veganism, boom, good to go. And then I'm going to duplicate a whole bunch of these. Like I'll duplicate like 10 of them, 12 of them, 20 of them. And I'll just test them out, see which one's doing the best. So I'll show you an example of what I'm doing now for this one. Love the idea, for example. Look at this, I'm targeting like, how many am I targeting? I'm targeting more than 20. 22, I'm targeting 22 different ad sets, seeing which ones are going to do best. And I can show you what's going to happen right now. Some of them aren't within KPI, so I got to turn them off. Oh, also you want to wait at least 4 days before making a decision if the ad's successful or not. So if on day one you're like, oh my God, it's costing too much money, I'm not getting the best opt-ins, or 3 days later, like it's not getting good at ad spend, it's not costing as much as it should. Well, within 3 days, you can't really tell. You gotta wait till 4 days. So this one's been up for 4 days, Go Vegan plus Entrepreneurship Women. I thought that would do pretty well. In fact, I put a daily $10 budget on it. It's not doing well at all. It's costing me $20 to get one opt-in, so I'm gonna turn that off. Boom, turned it off. Because look at that, 19 bucks per. That's silly. I don't wanna pay that. Another thing I could have done, rather than turning it off, I could have gone in there. You can ignore all these dog things. They're just there because I didn't finish what I was doing. I could have gone in there and seen which one was doing the best and kept it going and turned the other ones off. Like this one, look at this. This one got an opt-in for $9. That's within KPI. So I could have, in fact, I'll do that right now. I'll just show you how to recover from that. So rather than turning it off, you can go into the ad set itself. Wait till it loads. So I'm gonna go into it. It's cost $19 for one opt-in. That's not good. But if I go into here and I can see, hey, look, these ones weren't getting opt-ins at all. Only this one picture got an opt-in, and it got it for $9. That's actually within KPI. So I'm going to shut these other ones off and just leave this one running and see if it keeps getting opt-ins for $9. Because if it does, awesome. I can still be very profitable getting $9 opt-ins. So I'm actually going to leave that. So I used to just turn the whole thing off, but now I'm like zooming in and saying, hey, how can I actually get the most out of this? Same thing here. Same girl, actually. Same picture, getting a $9 opt-in. I'm going to turn these other ones off. And should be good to go on that. I'll just let that run for a few more days. Anything else not doing very well? No, all doing well. This one's getting $7 opt-ins. Looks good, looks good, looks good. Looks good. But as you can see, I'm testing a whole bunch of different things. Basically just testing different audiences, using the exact same pictures, exact same copy. So the way to see which pictures are doing best, you can just pop into one. Like this one's got 6 opt-ins, paying $5 each. We'll see which one's getting 6 opt-ins. Okay, so it turns out that same girl at the bottom here, the purple one, getting 3 opt-ins. This picture of these two guys getting $5 opt-ins. This one's getting $7 opt-ins. I could probably already turn this one off because it wasn't doing well. So this picture of this girl in the pink wasn't doing well. So I shut her off. And then this picture of these guys are doing decently on some of the ad sets. This picture of this girl's doing decently on some of the ad sets, and then this picture is doing the best out of all of them. So again, you never know which one's gonna do best. I had a feeling this was gonna do best, or I was hoping it would, because it's my favorite. But who knows? Sometimes some crazy things happen, and the ad that you don't think is gonna win actually wins. But test. This one is not doing well at all, so I'm just going through and shutting it off on a lot of the ad sets in advance, so it doesn't cost me more money. But that's it. That's how I approach ads. And I come in, I look at my ad account at least once a day, sometimes twice a day, sometimes early in the morning, in the evening. Always coming in, checking up on it, seeing how it's doing, and then coming in and killing the ones that aren't doing very well and just upping the budget on the ones that are doing well. So how to up the budget, really simple. Let's say I like how this one's doing 4 days ago. I uploaded this one. It's getting opt-ins for under $3. That's amazing. Let's give it some more money. So it starts at $3. I'm going to up it by 20%. That's going to bring it to $3.60. So I hit publish. Boom. That's all I do. Just gave it some more money. This one's doing pretty well too, under 10 bucks. Let's give it some more money. Bring it to 360. This one's set to 12 bucks a day. So the other day I upped it from $10 to $12. That's a 20% increase. I'm going to up it again by another couple of dollars. It's not 20%, it's a little less, but whatever. Okay. So no more than 20% per day increasing the budget. I'm going to increase this budget to 14 because it's still doing well. And it's still doing well. It's not doing the greatest. It's getting $10.89 opt-ins, but it did get a book call. So that's more important. The fact that this got a book call is more important than the fact that it's costing more than $10. The reason it might cost more than $10 is because this group, this niche may cost a little bit more, but they're more likely to book a call. So you see, I'm specifically targeting women on this one. Vegan nutrition plus women. So sometimes the gender specificity really, really helps. Not all the time, but sometimes. See, this one, it hasn't helped. It was Go Vegan Plus Entrepreneurship Women, cost me 20 bucks. Whereas this one's cost me 10 bucks and I got a book call. So you never know. Anyways, that's what I want to share with you here today. Hope you got something from this video. If you did, great, cool. Go smash it with your Facebook ads. If you need any help, let me know. I will make more videos for you in the future. Peace.